welcome back to Monday, 7 o'clock. You are on the podcast Fishing with Stoney Stone, and it's not Fishing with Stoney Stone without my sidekick here,
Darren with Standard Issue Fishing TV.
Darren. No, that's not it. You had a nickname before you
You
went
told
away.
me I wasn't allowed to make my
You
own
had.
nickname, and
We
you
got to
don't
come
tell
up.
me my nickname that you guys have for me.
So we need to do a contest where we're gonna pick a nickname for Darren because he picked like I don't know what it
Fish
was.
catching fool.
Oh, yeah, fish catching fool. That's just you can't pick your own nickname. So send us a little note. Send me a note. Send Darren a note. We're gonna come up with a nickname for him. So go troll his Facebook pages and come up with a nickname for Darren.
There we go.
But man, we got a packed show tonight. I do not have a guest tonight, only because we try to elevate this up a little bit at a time. And so we are doing this live feed to Facebook and see what that does. But we are streaming live to Fishing with Stoney Stone. So if you guys are watching on Facebook, thank you for watching. If you want to participate, you got to click on the Zoom link that is out there in my Facebook world and so many different places. But click on the Zoom link, come in for questions, answers, participation. You can interact and ask questions. We're going to do a who's fishing, who's catching segment here today. And just dive right into that and just kind of see where this whole podcast goes. You never know where it's going to go.
Especially like this, all new.
All new. We're always coming up.
Exciting.
We got some other changes coming. We're always making those changes. But let's talk about who's fishing, who's catching. You went. Did you go fishing Saturday? Right. Well, you
I
went
fishing this Saturday, and I went fishing last Saturday.
So last Saturday we didn't get a report because you were out like celebrating some anniversary or some stupid thing you had to do.
We went out to Alcatraz. I finally went to a prison I didn't have to stay at.
That's good.
So yeah, it was fun. But I was supposed to do a operation nets with vets.
Yes.
And the guy ended up being sick and couldn't make it. So me and Chad, my fishing partner on the Standard Issue Fishing Team, we decided to go out tonight and do a little fishing.
And how'd you do?
We did great. I did great.
Okay, so you can't just say you did great. What? Give us a lowdown. What did you do?
We went out to Night's Landing. We decided to go do some striper fishing. Chad twisted my arm. I asked him first. I said, "Hey, you want to go chase some bait fish out there on the Feather River, or you want to go do something else?"
Some bait fish.
Yeah, the salmon.
Stuff you use for bait.
Catfish bait.
He's gonna go catch salmon and use it for cap. Who does that? Cat fisherman.
So yeah, he said, "Do you want to go do some striper?" And I said, "Well, yeah, they're here. We should probably go check it out." So we went up to Knight's Landing. We did our normal thing, we got our little spot up there, got our pike minnows and used live bait and ended up catching me a 26-pounder.
Nice.
First fish I've ever caught with a tag in it.
Okay.
Fortunately, the tag was broken half. So I've still got to send it in. I've got a form I've got to fill out. I'm going to still send it in and see if they can give me any information off of it. It does have a few numbers on it, so we'll see how that goes.
Yeah. Do you think it's a money tag or just a tracking tag?
I think it's just a tracking tag. Hopefully it's a $5,000 tag and I can buy a live scope for my boat. But
You think live scope is going to make you catch more fish?
no, it's just going to make me look cooler.
There you go. Spend more money, and then force everybody else to spend more money.
Yeah.
Just go buy the live scope.
Yeah.
Well, very cool.
Yeah,
very cool. I'm glad.
Yeah.
So you talk about Knight's Landing. Kind of reminds me about a story we have told before early on of how you and I kind of came about and how we started kind of fishing together and kind of how we met, right? So if I remember the story correctly, is it all started with you fishing Clear Lake by yourself, or Chad? Tell me, how were you at Clear Lake?
I actually had a job up there. I'm a project manager for a structural steel company. I had a project up there that I had to go to a pre-construction meeting up there. And I've always wanted to go up to Clear Lake, but I've always heard stories about, oh, you can't keep the fish, you can't do this, can't do that. I'm not one to keep fish all the time, but I do want to catch some fish and eat it. And after speaking to all these people, they told me, yeah, you can keep them. You just got to eat them in moderation like you do with any other fish. So I decided to go up there the following weekend. Found out the technique. Didn't have any fucking clue how to do it. Any clue where to fish at. So me and my wife and Chad are out there, and I'm like, I follow this dude on Facebook, Old Farts Fishing. I said, let me instant message him and see if he said will help us out. So he messaged you, and about 10 minutes later, he told me to give you a call. Did he told us, okay, you know where this is at? I'm like, yeah, I think we're in front of it now. Okay, go from north to south. Put your baits out about 150 feet. Go about this fast. Within 5 minutes, we had a fish on.
You know the funny thing about that?
I know you didn't know shit.
I'm like, I'm just gonna make this shit up, and we're gonna see if this guy catches fish. I didn't know who he was. I was like,
It worked.
and I'm like, he called the wrong guy. I don't know how to fish. There's so many other guys he could have called, but he called me, so I kind of felt obligated to. I've never been a person to say I don't know or I'm not the best. I'm like, I'll fake it till I make it. So I figured, hey, the guy's already not catching fish. So if I tell him something and it doesn't work, he's still not catching fish.
Right.
But if it works, I'm like, holy shit, it worked. So
Yeah, it worked.
it worked.
It worked. We ended up catching probably 12 fish that day.
Nice.
All
Maybe I do know
nice
something.
sized fish. I mean, nothing. Probably didn't get anything over 14 pounds, but for us, that was amazing being there
Hey,
the first time.
it all starts somewhere,
Yeah,
and now look
it
at
was,
you.
yeah, it was amazing.
You're hook 'em big now.
Yep, yep.
You got sucked
We had a
into
couple of
the.
these rods. Oh, by the way, I did catch that striper on I don't know what kind of rod it was now. Oh, a Cape Rock rod.
A Cape Rock rod. Hey, funny is the one I caught this weekend was on a Cape Rock rod as well. But you know what? It's funny is we talk about you going to Knight's Landing. So we have the story of you reaching out to Old Farts Fishing.
Yep.
Gave you some advice on what I thought, right? And I was still pretty new to it. We only been doing it for a year or two, and there's a lot of guys out there that are better at it than us. But I just shared what I knew. Things that were taught to me and things that we've used, and I'm like, there's no secrets. So I'm like, what the hell? Let me just share it with this guy, and so you got some fish.
Yep.
And then a few, I don't know, weeks, months. It was a minute,
Yeah, a few
a
weeks.
few weeks, and Anthony and I go to Knight's Landing quite a bit, and so one thing about that time was I was going through props left and right, running the river, and I think I went through 3 props in one year, and when I met you, I just replaced my prop again, and I was playing with different pitches because we are trying to get more top end out of it,
Right.
and so I got this new prop, put it on, and started the boat up, and it's kind of making this weird noise like this isn't right, but in my mind I'm thinking, well, it's a new prop, it's got to sound pretty cool, I don't know, right? But it was making a weird noise. I don't know, so
A prop that
I
sounds
don't know, it
pretty
sounded
cool.
cool because it was like making this like whiny noise like a turbocharger. I'm like, it was just making this weird noise. So we started to pull out a nice landing, and the noise went away. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, cool. Well, we get on the river and I freaking floor it, right? And we got some top end on it. We're going, we're all, I'm like, yeah, this is cool. We did it. We did it all in the parking lot. I didn't do it at home. I did it in the parking lot. We put this prop on. We're going up river, and all of a sudden, wow! It's like the engine's high revving. We're not going anywhere. And I'm like, what the hell happened, right? So put in neutral. We're sitting there, and we're starting to drift back with there's no power, and I'm like, we're starting to drift back, and I go, well, let's just drop the trolling motor. I'll use the trolling motor up. Drop the trolling motor. It's dead. So no trolling motor. The engine's not working. And we throw the anchor. Throw the anchor out, and I propped the engine up. There's no prop. I don't know what happened. Prop is gone. It just fell off.
You
So
forgot to bend those tabs.
I don't know what something was not right, but we had no prop and no trolling motor. So now I'm like, well, we're here. Let's just fish, right?
Yeah.
And so where we were, we just stayed there and fished.
Yep.
Well, we're doing our thing and not really catching, and then here comes this green boat, and they anchor right across from us. This anchor right across, and I'm like, "Who are these guys, like, there's this whole river, and they anchor right across from us, and all of a sudden I hear this, hey, old farts. And I'm like, who the hell is that? He's like, hey, this is Darren. You helped me out catch those catfish. And I was like, oh, wow, that's pretty. I was all excited, right? I'm like, wow, there's the guy. Get to meet him face to face. And then, I'm like, hey, we need some help. And so you return the favor, towed us back to the ramp, and we get back. But I'm sitting there on the bank while we're anchored up, going, who the fuck is anchors up right across from us? Blah blah blah. And what did you tell me you were thinking?
I was thinking when we pulled up and dropped anchor, I'm like, this motherfucker don't know shit. He's fishing on the wrong side of the river.
Not knowing we knew each other from Facebook
I'm
is
thinking, all I can think is that guy ain't gonna catch shit over there.
and then you realize it's the old farts guys,
Yep, yep,
me and Anthony, and so, but yeah, that's how it started.
yeah.
That's how the friendship,
Evolution.
started, and you can meet people on Facebook, and it can work out. Not everybody is bad out there. There is
No,
some
no,
goodness,
he
and
just hasn't got to know me all the way, but that's
well,
all
I'm
right.
working on it. I'm working
Oh,
on it. Uh-oh,
pulling the
producer.
mic closer to you.
There you go.
Or
Producer's
way
stepping.
closer.
Like, well, you got to talk really into it,
Yeah.
like you're breathing on it.
Big mouth.
He's just afraid to
Hold
have.
the actual post a little bit closer.
How
There
about
you go.
that?
There you go.
He's just
That was
afraid of
better.
having something long and
Yeah,
in,
cylindrical.
in your face. He's like, I'm not used to this.
Oh, that's bad.
That's why we have a producer, so he can keep
Yeah.
track of all that stuff, and
Yeah,
hopefully this comes
for
out to be
sure.
something good. But yeah, that was a cool story. Now here we are, and as funny as we do go to around the same spot,
Yeah.
and we normally fish the other side, but we broke down that day, and so you went out on last Saturday, got some fish.
Yeah.
You went out this Saturday,
This
and
last Saturday, we did. It was a little bit tougher bite. It was pretty warm on Saturday, but we only got a couple pike minnows.
Yeah.
But my wife missed one. It took the bait pretty good, but the hook was kind of turned back in on itself and hooked the bait, pike minnow in the eye.
yeah.
So there was no way we were gonna hook that fish. It's just not possible. But it screamed it out pretty good, and I held it while I was taking line. I'm like, okay, here you go, babe. I was gonna let her set the hook and everything, and he just wasn't there.
Just wasn't there. So we went out Sunday, pretty much the same spot, I believe. Same part of the water, and
Yep.
we had a goal, right?
Yeah.
We were producers going in here.
Yep.
We had a goal to go in there
Reaching
and
a long cylindrical thing in the face.
to go out there and catch pike minnow. Because we did it last year. We got our two biggest striper ever in that spot on pike minnows, back to back weekends.
Yep.
And so I was like, well, I want to go see if we can do this. So we had a plan. We're gonna go catch pike minnow. We're gonna catch a big striper, and and so we executed that. We did that. We caught a couple pike minnow. We caught like 10 little catfish, and
Yeah.
my pond is growing a little bit.
Yep.
And Anthony got posted on the Facebook yesterday. He got his big, I think it was like 26, 27. No, it had to be bigger than that.
27
29,
is what you told me.
27.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know. It could have been a
Good
lie.
fish.
That was a
Good
big
fish.
fish.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you haven't used a pike minnow to go catch striper,
Don't do
it's
it. It sucks.
it sucks. It's terrible. No, it's a blast if you can get them to hit. You're gonna catch that bait. You gotta, and the pike minnow can't be too big. And we've had some pretty big pike minnows that have worked.
But if that's all you're catching, you put one on.
You put one on. So the medium size, I would say about what 10 inches.
Between 6 and 10.
6 and 10 is a good size, and
Yeah.
you throw that back out there. We like using, when we do ours, is we'll actually use a mooching rig, or kind of like a halibut rig,
Mm-hmm.
but a little smaller than you do them with smaller hooks,
Yeah.
and do it with that, and that works great. And
And I
it
just
hooks.
use a regular slider setup.
Yep, and we did that too, and we caught both ways doing that over the years. But the mooching rig that we get from Snag 'em and Bag 'em, we have him make them for us for catfishing or for pike minnows for the striper, little downsized hooks. But he'll make those rigs for us. I think Anthony ordered a few more this week,
Did he?
so we'll have those. But yeah, contact Snag 'em and Bag 'em if you're interested in getting some of those rigs for
Might
striper.
check it out.
Dude, they work great because you put that hook in the back, and you're gonna get, even if they short strike,
Yeah.
you're gonna
Yeah,
get
I've had
it.
him do that. I've
Yep.
had him do that.
And then so we had four pike minnow that we held on to, and so we was getting close to calling it quits, and we said we drift minnows all the time. Let's drift these pike minnows, and so just like drifting minnows, you get snagged up quite a bit with that weight down there, right? And the issue was we only had four.
Yeah.
Usually when you do minnows, you've got, a stack of minnows, and you
Yeah.
can, end up, I don't know if it's something I said, but Eric left. No, he
right,
stepped
the party's
out.
on
No,
now.
there's something going on. I don't know what's going on. He's going to go get a piece of equipment or something. But hopefully everything looks good and we're doing good. But he walked out. It's almost like when your teacher or your parents leave the room, you're like, ooh, what can we do to get in trouble now? What will he not know?
Or what the hell do we do?
Or I was like, what do I say now? Where's the cue cards? Where's the teleprompter? Yeah, we're not there yet. Um, But see, I lost my train of thought.
Yeah.
Good safety meeting.
But
Yes.
you're talking about bouncing. Like,
Oh, pike minnows. So we got snagged up a couple times, which now we lost our pike minnows.
yeah.
So we just called it quits and went home. And the key for us was we had a plan. We executed it. Did we catch a ton of fish? No. Did we go out there and catch some? Striper are coming up the river. You know, quality fish. Everybody's got salmon fever right now, which is awesome. You know, and for me personally, it was like how much more salmon. I don't eat a lot of fish, right? So I get a couple slabs of salmon and give the rest to friends and family. Is I've got caught my nice fair share, let other people catch them. I'm gonna start switching gears to striper. But with that being said, we've got catfish tournament coming up.
Coming up a few weeks.
A few weeks. It's in the middle of October, 15th to the 5th. I don't know what it was, 18th. So we're gonna have to go out to Lake Mendocino here in the next few weeks, probably a couple weeks before. I'm guessing. You know, if we can coordinate. Then it's kind of hard to coordinate with you because you're a Saturday fisherman. I'm a Sunday fisherman, and the reason I like Sundays, and I kind of told this story a few times, is I'm not hugely religious. I do believe in a higher being. I do believe identify being Christian. So there is some, but I'm not hugely into going to church and following organized religion. But I do believe in a higher being, and kind of more about you treat people the way you want to be treated, do a good person, all those things, and try to follow as much of the Bible as you can. But for me, going out on Sundays is my church. That's where I go get one with myself, one with nature. I spend it with one of my best friends out there, and we get a chance to talk and you console, and a lot of things that happen on the boat as far as conversation stays on the boat, but it's a chance for us to just catch up, and that's what it is for me. It's all the fishing is extra. We catch fish, we have a good time, but it's more about just getting on the water, being one. And there's times where we'll be in the boat and for hours and not even say a word. Now it could be that I just passed out, fell asleep, but we don't say a word. But it's just relaxing. We enjoy the day, and fishing is just a bonus.
Yeah,
And
and that's one of the things. Like I was talking to my wife this the other day, where church isn't really a building. Church is you.
right,
Church is your being. You're connecting with God. And for me, anytime I'm out on the water, anytime I'm out in nature, is when I'm in church.
yeah,
I love it. It's just so much around you. We were out there last week, not this last week, but the week before, when I caught a 26-pounder, seeing deer, seeing beavers. Had a weasel, a little black weasel running up and down the riverbank. You don't get to see that in the city.
no.
So it's very relaxing. There's not a lot of sounds of the city. Right now it's harvest time, so you hear a lot of trucks. But it's just very relaxing and nice to be out there. And you guys picked a better day on Saturday, or on Sunday. It was a little bit cooler.
It was cooler. The wind started picking up, which is interesting on the river, because what I noticed was the river flow was not. It was high, not real high, but it was high enough. Normal, I would say, but it wasn't fast. The current was pretty slow. So when we're drifting down, we're at like 1.5, 1.6 just on a drift, and normally that river you're at 2.5, 3.
Why don't you bounce it for catfish?
We've tried doing the trolling on catfish on the river, and we've never been successful at it.
Back bouncing?
About back bouncing.
For catfish?
Yeah. And the other thing on the river for me is I've only caught big catfish, big being 10, 12 pounds, once or twice.
Right.
Most of the time I'm catching 5-inch, 4-inch little, a lot of them. So from a catfish perspective, I always wonder, it's like, well, why am I not getting abundant, like at Clear Lake, where you get just tons of big fish?
Right.
You get them every once in a while on the river. But for us, mostly we're getting, little ones, but where are the big ones? And every once in a while you find them, but I wouldn't say consistently where I can go say, I'm going to go target big catfish and get them.
I think those big catfish during the day when we're usually out there are going to be in those deep holes or those snags that we just don't fish.
And when I fished early on, when I lived in lived in Marysville, I can be on the river in 20 minutes. And so we used to go during the week quite a bit.
Right.
And we would go, some of our early videos were late at night. We would launch at 5 o'clock, fish till 1 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
We still never got big catfish. We'd go to Butte Creek. We fished a lot of Butte Creek where some big catfish are, And me personally never caught anything gigantic, but maybe 15 pounds, 10 pounds on the.
Yeah. Were you fishing the shallows at night?
Well, like Butte Creek, it's shallow.
Shallow,
It's not
shallow.
very deep
Right.
anyway. And if you can find a hole, we did have a hole.
Right.
And people that watch some of my old videos, we had a hole called your mom's hole. We got some big catfish out there. Now it's not what you think. It's not what you think. We say it's your mom's hole. The reason we called it your mom's hole is we had a smaller boat and we'd go run that river, and it's pretty shallow. It's a really deep hole. But one day Anthony and I were fishing out there, and this lady is on the bank with these two young kids with no man around at all. Not saying she needs a man, but it was just odd for me to see that, this lady is there with her two kids I'm like looking for where's, the other, it was just her. So we started talking to her from the boat, and she's a single mom, and she took her kids out fishing, and I was like, this is awesome, right? And they're catching some fish, and they're like, they'd hook up. We like, yeah, good job. The kids are getting all excited, and it was the coolest thing to see. So I'm like, I'm gonna call this your mom's hole.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's why. But we'd always go there, and then when I got the bigger boat, I could probably get it in there, but I don't know.
That's your bigger boat?
Yeah, I went through like 4 boats in like 2 years
Okay.
because I got a small boat and I got a little bit smaller or bigger boat and then a little bit bigger boat, and
Yeah,
but I was just
started out relatively large boats. You've seen my fishing partner.
Yeah.
He's not a little guy.
yeah.
So I thought, well, if I want to continue our fishing relationship, because we're very good friends, we've been fishing together for 15 years now.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, guess I gotta get a big boat.
Chad's not a small guy,
No,
but
no,
that's a
no.
commitment.
Yeah.
That is a commitment. So did I get a bigger boat because Anthony's bigger?
You did.
Hey, if you watch those videos, I had that little 12-foot aluminum boat. I took Big Mike, the guy of some of my early videos.
Right.
He's like 400 pounds, and him and I would be in that boat. And
Ooh, that's scary.
dude, we did it though. I wouldn't go to the Delta like that. I'd go play in the river with Big Mike, and
Right.
I knew that if we got like stuck on a sandbar, so we just get out, we'd be fine. We just float back up. But no, we did a lot of cool.
Put a film in a boat, draft 20 inches of water.
Exactly. Those were some good times, but then when I moved out to Rancho, it was just I don't get out as much. It's an hour drive to get to the water, and
Yeah.
I can go to Discovery Park and get all my shit stolen, or I just I could
Which is
find
a
some
shame,
spots.
because there's some really good fishing around there.
Yeah,
But you can't leave your truck there.
yeah. So
I personally think that the state of California needs to put cameras at all these boat ramps, because I think that's one of the biggest things with Knight's Landing. They've got cameras out there.
I've been pretty
Never
lucky.
had my
Knock on
vehicle
wood.
messed with out there.
Yeah. No, I agree. That's it. So
Yeah, it's just good fun. But the reason I asked you about fishing shallow water at night is because, from what my understanding is and what I've read, and I could be reading the wrong shit, there's so much misinformation out there, but from what I've read, the catfish like to go in the deep in the daytime, and then during the day or the nighttime, they come up in the shallows and feed on the minnows and so on.
well,
So,
I've got that pond I built. I call it a pond. It's above ground. It's made by 2x6s and a pond liner, but it's 10 foot, 550 gallons or so.
yeah.
And I've got
Did you measure that by 1 gallon at a time, or?
no. I just took the dimensions and used AI to say how many gallons is this? It just told me so. But it's a cool little pond, and got some koi and some bluegill and some bass and some catfish. Probably a lot of catfish in there, but they're all small.
Yeah.
But I study those catfish. I watch them. I watch them during the day. I watch them at lunch. I watch them at night. And I feed them. And I test to see what are they going to go after. I'll throw different baits in and see what pulls them up. Especially during the day, let me throw a piece of shrimp in and see if they'll come out.
Right.
Or I'll throw in a piece of chicken, or I'll put some triple X blood on some and throw it out to see what draws them out
Yeah.
in the middle of the day. I'm telling you, put that triple X blood on it, they come out, right? So there's something with scent. I'm not saying that's the scent. There could be other scents, but adding that little bit of scent, something draws them out. I've taken raw chicken. Raw chicken brings them out.
Yep.
Now at nighttime, it's a different story. I go out there at night; they're all out. I mean, you're like, holy, and I love watching them because you just watch. They look like little sharks to me.
I'm waiting for the video where you're out there in your Speedo sitting in the corner of your pond with your mask on, watching the fish.
So the comment is a little disturbing. The fact that you're envisioning me wearing a Speedo watching fish. I'm like, Darren, do I need to be concerned?
I think we could make money.
No. Yeah, my only's fan just watched me in a Speedo. He's all thinking entrepreneurial. So I got this great idea. Why don't you? We can both sit out there
We
together.
have the feet videos, right? On
Yeah.
OnlyFans. Why not have Speedo videos?
I think you just have.
Stoney sitting there.
No, I think it's better with a bald guy sitting there.
Whoa, wait. What's happening here?
I don't know. You're the one talking Speedos. It just Eric
Going off the
leaves.
rail.
Eric leaves for a little bit. We start talking about
that's
God,
right.
and now we're going to Speedos. So
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on. It's out of control. No, it's
But
all.
it's good times.
It's a good time.
Yeah.
It's all about having a good time. So we're still talking about fishing and catching. You got our stories of what happened this weekend. If you guys are on the Facebook world, it starts, different people. If we were a Golden State Sport Fishing, looks like they're switching gears up to start the sturgeon fishing. I think sturgeon opens October 1st.
Yep.
So I know those guys are revved up and going. James Powers is out there catching a bunch of sharks.
Yep.
So they're doing that.
I
And
did read a thing this weekend that this year you won't have to actually purchase a report card.
I thought you still had to.
No, this,
I was confused.
I got an email from
I got an email, but
Gang. Says you don't have to this year. You don't have to, but next year you'll have to.
okay.
So, but they're changing the way the report card you use the report card.
Right.
From what I got out of the email that I read is you almost have to record every time you go fishing.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So if you go out and target them, you got to record it.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, and where you went and everything else.
We'll see how well that goes.
Yeah,
They need to make it easy to where they can just do it online.
yeah.
You know.
Well, they tried to do a whole thing with online, but unfortunately, most people, at least my phone, doesn't work in a lot of places I go fishing.
But here's the cool thing: is this is the tech side of me that comes out. So, if Fish and Game started a program where you basically they tell you catch your sturgeon, take a picture of that sturgeon wherever you are. Just when you catch it, take a picture of it.
Okay.
Send it to us when you can that day, whatever. Just send the picture.
Right,
Well, behind every photo, there's metadata.
right,
And one of the requirements is you have to have your metadata on. It'll tell you the date, the time, the location.
Yeah.
So now they get meaningful data. And it's just, fishermen are like, I don't want to give up my spots or whatever. But if you're trying to preserve the fish, you're not publicizing that. You're giving it to Fish and Game so they can use the data. Is get useful data that's going to help, open up the season. So if they need that information, that's going to make it easy, make it so it's not hard for the fishermen to do. It's something easy they can do on their phone, take a picture, upload it when they can.
yeah.
It has all that data in there.
Yep.
So I don't know. That's
They're
just me.
using AI to change their backgrounds, like
Who does that?
those people that were fishing at the basin.
I don't know. If you look at our pictures closely, it looks like I caught those at Ellis Lake. So I gotta say, it just bugs me when people wipe out the background. It's like they're trying to be all sneaky, and there's like all of a sudden it's all white. Everything's blurred, or
Yeah.
they put. I'm like, why not have some fun with it? So use AI, put in a different background, and it's I've caught some fish in China. I've got some fish
You
in
got those salmon in Verona.
Verona, Italy.
Yeah.
I told the AI change the background to Verona,
Yeah.
and it put Verona, Italy. I'm like, look, they got striper Verona, Italy, or salmon, whatever it was.
Yeah.
No, it's pretty cool. It just makes for, and the scary part with AI nowadays is
You don't
you
know.
can't tell.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like almost become a forensic photo scientist of some sort to be able to tell. That's
Yeah.
when you can tell, but. One secret is if you look at a photo and right click that thing and say data, if it's going to show you what's available. And a lot of things you can find on photos to say when it was, what aperture, what settings, And I do that a lot in photography. When I see a really cool picture that was done nicely, and I'm like, how'd they do that? I'll go look at the metadata and say,
Okay.
this was the f-stop, this was ISO, this was everything, and that only helps because if they go into AI and chase it, so you're not going to know. You're just going to know something, but
Yeah.
it's still not going to represent.
It's kind of interesting. Learn something new.
Hey,
Okay.
I can be a teacher, Mr. Miyagi.
Yeah. I don't believe it, but okay.
You know, I make stuff up all
Yeah.
the time.
Yeah.
I don't know it.
I knew what the hell he was talking about, though.
Maybe. No, I'm just kidding.
Dude, I use that every time I wax my truck.
Wax on, wax off.
Or,
Yeah, wax. You're waxing
Yeah.
something. How many people, if anybody, do we have on? I'm just looking at our
We
producer
have
here.
Ken on the Zoom.
So I want to actually talk about Ken. He's on, and he'll unmute, or we'll ask him to unmute. I know Ken is moving out of state. He had sold his boat. Saw that little video of it getting towed away, and I also saw Ken was
I got it sold, huh?
he sold the
I
boat
was
and
wondering. I hadn't seen it on there.
had a couple garage sales. Or
Very nice.
oh, what's he doing
I
here?
don't think my mic's working.
That's true.
So we got to share a mic. We got to share a big cylindrical thing in our face.
I don't know if I can do that. So that's what Eric's having issues with. Mike, here we go. So Ken, you on? You unmuted? What's
We
going on?
just push that one out.
Yes, sir. I'm on.
What's up, buddy?
I'm
How'd your sale go? And did you get a bunch of stuff sold?
I sold the boat in 2 days.
Nice.
I had two low bidders kind of mess around the first hour or so. Then the next guy came and wanted to look at it, but I was on the way to Idaho the next day, but he wanted to come look at it because he didn't want me to sell it from underneath him. He came up, looked at it in about 30 minutes, said, I want it.
Very good.
Very nice.
That means it
And,
was
this last weekend sale was basically just to get rid of all the junk. It was a free garage sale. I had a donation jar, told everybody take what they want and put in whatever you think it's worth. If you can't afford it, take it home anyway.
I wish I'd have known that because we went through.
How did you not know? You were in honeymoon, like
Yeah,
whatever
we were on a staycation.
staycation.
Yeah. So I wish I'd have known that though because we did go through Vacaville and Fairfield. and all
I
that.
told Ken he should have called you directly.
Yeah, should have. Damn it.
Kids all know you
You got
did.
anything left, Ken?
No, I don't own a single thing of fishing related stuff or boat.
So you're moving to Idaho, right?
Yep.
You're not gonna fish anymore. You're like done fishing.
Yes, I got a couple lakes around the town.
Yeah.
Problem is, I just can't get excited going after a 2 pound trout. It does not interest me.
Kind of how I feel about fishing for kokanee. I've gone a few times, but I'm like,
Exactly. Yep.
I can't get into it. I'm like, I've gone, I've tried, I've shot some videos, I've gone with a guide. Anthony and I have gone a few times, and I'm like,
Mhm.
oh, there's another fish. Oh, there's another. Oh, one got it. I'm like, it's not exciting.
There's got to be some big fish around where you're going though, Ken. Come on.
Yeah, there's the Snake River.
Right.
The
Okay.
problem within 2 hours of where I live, it's all shallow water stuff. And I'm not going to replace props like Stoney was. My props are like $300-400 each.
Yeah. Yeah, for
Mine
sure.
were like 350, and I'm actually looking for a jet right now. I'm thinking hard.
There was a nice one on Facebook Marketplace. Guy had the jet and the prop lower end.
Well, here's the thing. I was meeting with the CFO,
Mm-hmm.
and I was looking at some numbers, and I'm like, you know what? If I just start shooting everything myself again and just give Eric a year off, I can have that boat at the end of the year.
You probably could.
But Eric's
that
like,
means
wait a
you-
minute, what?
But that means you would have to actually work.
This is true. That's the flip side of it.
Hey, Stoney,
Yes, sir.
just put a jet on the bottom of your motor.
I could, but then I don't want to give up the horsepower. I like having the
Well,
speed.
you're going to have to do it either way.
Well,
but
then,
if I go
Buy a jet.
But if I get a
expect
jet with
us-
a big motor, I can then have a bigger motor, but get the.
Well, then expect to spend another 40,000-50,000 versus 5,000 for a jet. Until
Or,
then.
or lose some weight.
When I was in the race cars world, that was the thing. I laughed at these guys that would go spend all this money to put these air dams and spoilers and to boost my horsepower to this. I'm like, just strip all the weight you can,
Yeah.
and you don't have to spend a shitload of money on this. You're gonna pick up horsepower.
Yeah.
That's what I did. I was
Yeah.
couldn't afford it, but I just
Yeah.
stripped everything out.
Just take all the crap out of your boat.
So, do you want me to increase your odds on catching fish with pike or split tail?
Yes, sir.
Sure.
Okay. Have you seen how many fish have you seen on Facebook that has the fish in its mouth and is floating on top dead?
Say that again.
How many times on Facebook or anywhere else out there have you seen pictures of people taking pictures of a big fish with a fish in their mouth dead?
Not very often.
So yeah,
But,
no,
but have you?
yeah.
Okay, which way is that fish facing?
Head first.
A big striper would never hit a
The
fish
tip.
tail first, ever.
Right.
Because they can't swallow it because of the dorsal fins.
Right.
So what do you think that back hook behind the dorsal fin is not doing anything?
Okay.
So what you want to do is called threading your fish. So ask Matt at Standing Bag, and he'll make them for you. Basically, what it is a frog hook that you thread on top of their head and basically make them look like a bull with horns on top.
Okay.
Then you thread it underneath the skin back by the dorsal fin, and that's where you hook your main line to.
Okay.
Any fish is going to hit. Now, little minnows, they'll hit them anyway because they can swallow them. But a big
Right.
fish will never hit except head first.
Right. Yep.
Okay. And that could explain why Anthony had a couple takedowns on that pike minnow that he couldn't land. They let go.
Right.
I don't know what's going on there, but with the rig that
Well,
we were fishing with.
there is in that, and I'll tell you, in that spot, there is a big black bass that likes to hit on them pike minnows. And we've caught him a couple times, and we just release him every time we catch him. But he's probably, I'd say, about 14 inches.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yep. It's weird and he hits a little different. He doesn't just take it down and run with it like a striper does. He kind of messes with it, and it's interesting.
So Ken's going to give up fishing altogether, and you're going to fulfill your life with grandkids and a whole nother chapter.
Oh, hell no. Grandkids in another state. I'm going hunting.
He's like,
Okay.
no, I'm not going to grandkids. We're going hunting. So
There you go.
at least you're being
Already
active.
got me a new deer rifle and 2 pistols and an AR-15 for me, waiting up in Idaho.
Beautiful.
You need an AR-15 to shoot what?
Anything I want, my man.
Exactly.
Because
Exactly.
I'm not, like I said, I'm pro gun, but I'm like thinking, why do I need an AR-15 unless I'm like apocalypse? I don't know.
Why don't you need an AR-15?
Yeah,
Answer that question.
It's just a fun gun.
No, I know. I figure for me personally, if it gets to that point where things are that bad where I'm like, I'm just done. I'm just like, just give me a single shot to the head. I want to go. I don't want to live in a world that's that corrupt and fucked up. But
Yeah,
anyway,
that's true too, but
I get it. Guns are fun.
they are.
I
They are.
I don't have any. Not that I'm against them. I'm more of a knife person.
Yeah. Yeah, me too. Anymore.
Yeah.
So we have Richard on the line.
Mr. Mootry is on the line. So before I start I'm like talking about people. Let me talk about Ken. Now, Ken, cool. I'm excited for your move. I wish the best. Hopefully, it's one of the things where, we remain in contact. We still,
Give us some
if I ever
updates.
decide I want to figure out how to go hunting, and I'm like, hey, let's go hunting. You can take me
Hey.
hunting.
You never know. We could add a little segment on there for just a hunting report out of state.
I have so many ideas of things I want to do with travel related, like
Yeah.
outdoorsy fishing with Stoney Stone. It could be, hey, Stoney Stone goes hunting, and Ken got him a big old whatever, and we're gonna go hunt for.
Yep.
As long as you have podcasts every week, I'll be on it still.
Oh, look,
beautiful. Love it.
We'll have a follower in another state. Look,
I
we're
love
growing
it.
nationwide.
About time.
We're growing
We just
nationwide.
need them all to move out of state.
or to Hawaii. We reached to Hawaii
Yeah.
too sometimes.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. Exactly.
No, but Ken, appreciate you, buddy. Learned a lot from you. I look at it as a good friendship, and
Yeah.
you and I talk a lot off the air, and kick some ideas around, and definitely appreciate a lot that you bring to the fishing community. So
No problem. Thank you.
For sure.
cool. Well, Richard, you on, buddy?
Yep.
Hey, what's going on? How you guys doing?
Look at
Good, good. How you
that,
doing,
man.
Richard?
What's going on in your world? We haven't talked in a minute. I know I got some stuff I'm working on for you right now, and we, got back from Hawaii. We got to get on that stuff here, and then I'm still trying to recover from Hawaii. Uh, but yeah, I'm gonna get on those things here probably this week, next week, and tell you they're all ready to go.
All right, yeah, I appreciate it. Now everything is just kind of methodically moving along behind the scenes. You've got 2.5 weeks, and then registration stuff will start to open up, and then things will start getting realer every week as we go forward. But we still got a little time before we start really pressing into this thing. But I'm making some contacts. I just was talking to Steve Cooper, who does In Deep on the Delta out here in Stockton. He's more of a bass guy. He does the fishing reports, does Clear Lake reports, and all. So there's going to be an opportunity. Him and I talked about me coming. I've been on his show before, talking about bass fishing and top water stuff a while ago. I even got on his boat one time. We did some filming. So I'm gonna be back on his podcast, his show here in a couple of weeks, going over the things that are coming up. He's gonna do some promotional things for us. I gave him a shirt. He gave me a shirt. We exchanged some merch and took some photos. So he's a really good guy. I'd like hanging out with him. So really knowledgeable on the Delta as well. So
And
more
so
to come. It's coming.
let's talk about or explain what we're talking about for people who haven't ever called into this or seeing it for the first time because we are streaming it live as we're recording. What are you representing? What's going on? So people can catch up to what you're talking about. So
Oh, okay. So, coming next year, 2026, April 25th and 26th, you're going to see the first Channel Cat Classic. It is a 2 day catfish tournament, three fish each day, biggest weight each day, total accumulative weight, $8,000 first place, put on by Permit and Development Consultants. That is coming up next year. So we're gearing up to go live with registration and getting registered to fish in a tournament, and rules and regulations will all come out, and it's going to be held at the Clear Lake State Park in Clear Lake, California. Blast off will be at, I believe, 7 a.m. Live well checks at 6. It's going to be a great day. It's going to be a great tournament. I look forward to putting it on and having great success in the years to come as well. So look forward to
yeah,
that next year.
yeah, it's
Yep.
awesome. It's kind of interesting as I look at where we're more than halfway through this year. And the Derby is one everybody knows about. That's
Yep.
on every year, 34 some odd years, 40 years. It's been a while that they've been out there. A lot of tournaments have come and gone. If I look at this year, basically it was the Derby and what Jake's got going on with the Bash. All year, Goodfellas didn't pull anything together. Kings of Clear Lake didn't happen.
Yep.
So we've kind of had the run of the lake. Experimented with going to Mendocino, which we're doing again in
Yep.
October, and next year we're not. Everything's on Clear Lake, but now you got Richard doing his tournament. You've got Chris, putting together a tournament that he's putting
Yep.
out there. So now you've got three different organizations doing tournaments. You still got the Derby. I heard Lakeport Bait and Tackle is trying to put something together. I've heard a few other noises of a couple other guys trying to be they want to do their own thing. And the way I look at it is there's a lot of interest coming up in catfishing.
Yes,
This
there
is where
is.
it starts. People want to get on the action. They want to do it their way. They want to do it. So, Richard's doing the whole, pro style tournament. Jake's doing a 1 day tournament. So the thing is, people are gonna have choices. This
Yeah.
is this is what's interesting is there's a lot of choices for people to get involved, support who they want to support,
Yep.
and be a part of what they want to be a part of. Is everybody going to be able to do everything? Probably not, because you're going to go broke trying.
Yep. Yep.
And so you're going to make choices, right? And I think Richard's fee, what is that, Richard? Like $250, $300 to be all in?
Uh, yeah, the entry to the tournament is $300 for the
Okay.
2 days, and then if you want big fish and blind bogey, it's $50. So it's $100 total. So it'll be 400 total if you get in everything.
So
Okay.
so you're looking
So
at a $400 entry fee all in, as little as $200, or what do you say,
300.
$300 to get in, right, on
Yep.
just the regular entry. But you look at the payout is huge, right?
Yeah.
And I think you're paying down more than just the top three.
yeah, our the total payout will be over 20,000, $8,000 guaranteed first place. Doesn't matter how many entries are in there, and then the rest of the payout is based on, I believe I base it on 40 entries. So 12,000 1 through should be 1 through 10, or excuse me, 2 through 10. And then obviously first place will be 8,000. So a lot of money on the line.
Yeah.
And considering what the prize fund is, that entry fee is relatively low based on comparison. So
Yep.
And so I look at, so Jake's doing at least I think 5 or 6 tournaments next year.
Right.
Every other month basically. You got
Yeah.
Richard doing one. So if you start looking at, Jake doing, say 6 tournaments.
Hmm.
You got Richard. You got 6, 7, 8, 9. I can think of 10 or 15 catfish tournaments, and people are like, "Oh my God, that's too many catfish tournaments." Well, last year there was 98 or
Yeah.
96 bass tournaments on Clear Lake. And I think Jake was the only one running tournaments. So you had 6 or 7 catfish tournaments going on. Just rounded, say there was 10
Hmm.
all year. It's not nearly what the bass guys are doing. So until we start seeing guys doing, 50 tournaments a year on Clear Lake, I think the fishery is going to be able to handle it. It's,
Yeah.
there are a lot of fish. A lot of the guys are very, into conservation and
Yeah.
doing the right things for the fish, saving fish. It's not a kill tournament.
Right.
So I'm excited. People have a lot of options, and Richard's got his hands full and a bunch of aspects, his own thing
Hmm.
as well. And being a big sponsor for the Bash, and I know
Well,
he's sponsored and helped the carp guys with LeBoy doing what
yeah.
they're doing, and so Richard's just a guy who loves to help out and see people successful. So Rich, we appreciate everything you do, and excited, and we're going to support you and what you need out there. And
For
well,
sure.
I appreciate that very much, and I support what you've got going on. I know you and I have to get back out on the water and do some fishing. Darren, you too. We gotta put the. I know we always talk about it, but we need to
Yep.
put together a day and time to get out and enjoy enjoy the river. I know. Even with Chris's tournaments there, for next year, I'm excited for that too. He's
yeah,
I'm trying to put something together that's going to be really nice. I think he's got another tournament that's Shasta that's at night.
yeah.
Oh, wow.
So Chris has got a
It's
couple
coming
things up
back.
his sleeve.
So yeah, he's trying to put some stuff together that's going to excite the crowd. And once again, like you said, choices are good. I think it's great to have a lot of choices on what people are going to get and what they're going to do, and some of it is starter to something to get your feet wet up to all in, and some guys are going to fish everything, some guys are not, and for me it's just making sure the tournaments, all of them, are a success and people have a good time.
That's
um and the competitive nature is going to come out, and you're going to have things to talk about all year until the next year. So I'm excited about 2026 and the finish of 2025 with the I even talked to him about doing next year, and I'll talk to Jacob too about doing the TOC with the winner of all each tournament that he has, my tournament, Chris's tournament, and then do a TOC. I think with the first maybe 2 places in each tournament, and then do a TOC at the end of the year, something that nature too. So,
And this is
um,
the cool part of this is it shows that we can collaborate, we can work together,
oh
have a
yeah.
common goal, do your own thing, but then, it's not a competition of who's going to have the better tournament. It's more of we're going to create options for you We're going to give you a good show, have a good time.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm all for it, man.
Yeah.
It's I did a tournament thing. I did my big, championship at Lake Berryessa
Yeah.
and realized that I don't want to do that. I want to fish. That's me.
Yeah.
I just want to
Yeah.
fish.
That's the main thing, though. I think when any of these tournaments, you got to go out there to have fun.
Oh yeah.
You know, it's
Yeah.
for me, it's the love of the sport. In the past, well, since I got together with my wife, I never fished tournaments.
Yeah.
My wife got in here and she's got a little bit more competitive nature than I do, and she got us into the sturgeon derby down in Rio Vista. Then you invited us to do the striper
Striper one.
derby, and then we did the catfish derby, and it's fun, but you got to have fun to do it.
Yes.
If fishing for me is fun, it's relaxing. If it ever gets to the point where it's not fun because of whatever's going on, then it's time for you to just find a different tournament, which that's going to be your choices.
And that brings up
You
an
know?
interesting thing because, there's a lot of newcomers into this, and I've heard a
Mhm.
lot of, with just the challenges that we've had with the bash and, having to disqualify people and, just some of the drama that happens around any event that you have a bunch
Right.
of people involved in is you got to just pick and choose. And if we set the right tone, we do the right things, we're going to weed that out across the board.
Yep.
And people that are acting a fool will just slowly just not
Act
be,
a fool somewhere else.
will not be invited
Yeah.
to these things.
Yeah. I think, and to your point, if you have issues that come up, right, and if you have a system or a rule in place, and some of it is you learn as you go, but once a decision is made and the disciplinary measures are taken, that's it. You just move on. You just let the talk and just walk that line and stand on business when you're gonna do that, and just keep it moving, right? That's gonna keep the drama down. If you don't give anybody anything to talk about after you make the decision that has to do with the tournament or behavior or whatever, you just keep moving and it'll go away. And the more
Yeah.
we talk about it, and I know, Stoney, it's a little different for you because you've got stuff behind the scenes going on with catfish wars and stuff. So keeping the keeping the water boiling is beneficial in some ways,
Yeah.
and in others, as far as us moving away from the hyperbole that goes on with that, it's a fine line to balance for you. I know for me, it's like, yeah, okay, that happened. Let's just move on, and that's what we're gonna do from now on, and let's go, right?
No, absolutely. And then you touched on Catfish Wars, right? And again, I just want to kind of set it straight is we're not looking for drama. This
Right.
isn't about the drama. But if there's drama to be had, we're gonna exploit that a little bit.
Absolutely, yeah.
But at the end of the day, it's not about the drama.
Right.
It's going to be 10% drama and 90% of fishing and the camaraderie and all the good things. But if there's something that's interesting that at the end of the day, from a producer production standpoint, is
Mhm.
drama sells. And
Yeah.
if I got to have
Yeah.
the drama in there to get the visibility, to push the agenda of getting the visibility through Catfish Wars, and now here's where my brain's going. Catfish Wars started with the backdrop to be the bash,
Right.
right? Well, now my brain's going say, well, next year we got the bash, which will still be the backdrop, but now you got Richard's tournament that is a segment of Catfish Wars, and it could just be all good. We don't know. We
Right.
got Chris doing his thing, and so the more things we get involved in Catfish Wars, now it's more encompassing to drive the agenda of the catfish scene in California through these guys through this Clear Lake, all doing their different thing, but it all gets told in a story through Catfish Wars.
Right.
And now the Catfish Wars thing isn't about the drama, it's about Richard's tournament, Jake's tournament, Chris's tournament. It's not necessarily a war, but it's more of look how these guys can battle and compete, but look how they also work together to
Right.
and so I look at this as it just gives me goosebumps when I actually start thinking of the potential that Catfish Wars has to take off and get known for catfishing, which California isn't.
Right.
Anyway, sorry.
But are your goosebumps before or after the safety meeting?
They just happened now when I started talking about it. I'm like, this vision that I have of where this could go is just, the fact that I got Eric, who's not even a fisher person, involved in producing and coming. He's like, I'm in. I'm ready to. So I've got, we've got the means
Because
to
we know
pull
he
this off.
loves getting up early.
He loves getting up early.
I love it so much, so much.
But I
Yeah.
don't need
I
him to.
only caught my fish at 2 p.m. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, there are some rivalries out there, and I kind of stay on the outside, but there's some guys who I really want to beat, and as we go forward with filming and stuff, you guys are gonna see and hear some of the inside stuff on what it really means to me, for me and,
Yeah.
and my team, what it means to win one of these tournaments if we ever get up there and or come second or third or beat certain people. You're gonna hear it. I'm gonna do a lot more videotaping next year and at the end of this year, on the real insides of what goes on communication wise and how we feel about competing in these tournaments. So and unfortunately Ken is going to be gone, and
Yeah.
Me and Ken have a really great history. He pulled me out of the Wells when we were really struggling on placing in these tournaments, and he gave me some deep insight and put us on the fish one day when we were out after day one. So I'm really gonna miss Ken. Ken, you've been a great guy, and I really appreciate the friendship, and good luck in all your endeavors. I'm kind of sad you won't be fishing, but I know it's still in your heart somewhere. But be safe out there in the weeds and the bushes, right?
Hmm.
And I'm hoping Ken's gonna, through his adventures of what he's doing, is gonna look back when all of this comes together, and he's like, I was part of that whole thing.
Yeah.
Look at these guys; they actually pulled it off, and
And then
that's
who knows?
again, I've got those goosebumps.
Who knows? Maybe he'll surprise us one day and he'll call up Stoney or Richard or whoever
They'll
and be
come
like,
out.
"Hey, I want to get on your boat this tournament. We'll just
Yeah, come
surprise
on out.
everybody." You
I'll be,
know?
Hey,
I'll be.
hey,
You're my,
Stoney,
Yes, sir.
I want to say this. I wasn't going to, but I'm going
Oh,
to.
oh,
Um,
duck.
Back in 2018,
Okay, I
when
was.
I started getting into this catfishing thing, me and another acquaintance, which everybody knows who he is, got together and said, "Hey, let's bring this East Coast fishing style to California."
Yeah.
At the time, everybody was anchored up at the catfish. We're the first ones that brought the drifting game into California, and we're the first group that brought the planer boards into California. And I tell you what, it's amazing to sit back and see what me and, I hate to say it, Steve brought to this and stepped the game up. Everything that me and Steve did was already being done back east.
Yep.
Right.
It
Mhm.
just
Yep.
was never brought into California. And I
Yep.
remember Steve, I don't know if anybody knows who Steve Douglas is.
Yep.
He did a video with uh, Larry Muse. At the time, he was the face of catfishing, Angle of the Year like 3 years in a row, and he brought out the dragon weights. Nobody knew anything about the dragon weights. As soon as that video came up, I called Steve. I said, "Dude, check this video out. Let's make these." And it's amazing to see what the catfish community has come to in the state of California when basically me and Steve's the one that brought it into it and introduced everybody to California east back east catfishing. It is amazing to see it now. And you know what I do, Steve? When you started catfishing at Clear Lake, you'd be lucky to see 5 boats a day. If
Right.
you're lucky.
Yep. I
You
agree.
see you seeing 10, 15 boats a day during the week, not counting weekends.
Mhm.
Yep. Absolutely right. Absolutely
It's
right.
amazing to see where this goes. And luckily with the bigger tournaments coming, that everybody's putting on, like Richard, Chris for next year, the bashes. It's gonna be interesting to see where it goes. I'm
No,
looking.
absolutely.
I will be keeping an eye on it and watching it.
Yeah, and then, like I said, all of this fits nicely into Catfish Wars because I think again, the drama part of it's going to be 10%, small percent, but the bigger story, the bigger thing is is Steve is got a part in this as well. We all know that he's gonna be we've got releases from people that are gonna be in this, and so Steve, his fate is just what it is, and he'll be part of it just like everybody else, and we'll just see who, as my producer Eric, puts all this together. Now this is the cool part. I'm having Eric put this all together.
Don't put this on me.
No, it's more of, I want to, him and I talk about, things I want to see, or some of the messaging that I want. But at the end of the day, it's his vision of putting this story as a reality type show together. And that's what I'm looking to see what Eric does with it. My idea, but his producer stuff to put this all together. You saw the trailer. I'll have to repost that out again. But the trailer that he put together just got to give you a taste. I've been bugging him for the next trailer, the little teaser, with some more commentary.
Definitely.
Yeah, because the other one was cool. It had a lot of like action stuff, just kind of excitement. The next trailer I want is more of the, here's what you're going to see in it, the little footage, little clips that he has put together already, to kind of like, here's what's to come, right? And that's, I think, going to get the buzz going. So a lot for next year. Richard, appreciate you getting on, buddy.
Yeah.
You're all, like I said, you're always welcome, just like you did today. We're always making time to talk catfishing, talk about what you got going on. Same with all the tournament directors, Chris, Jake, anybody want to get on. You have an event going on, let us know. It doesn't have to be catfishing. There's Rio Vista's got some striper things coming up we're going to be talking about, and maybe we'll see you out in the striper tournaments. But
Yeah, I appreciate you having me. It's always a pleasure, and you guys are doing a great job, and just keep going.
perfect. We are at the top of the hour, and I just want to throw it out there again: is my guest list is dwindled. I haven't reached out to a ton of people. If you want to be a guest on Fishing with Stoney Stone podcast, reach out to me. Send me a message on Facebook. Call me on my cell phone. Text me on my cell phone, 408-889-3671. Go to oldfartsfishing.com. And just say, hey, I want to be a guest. It doesn't have to be if you're a tackle shop, a bait shop, a business owner, anything. That we're all about supporting local small business.
Yeah, Anthony, I did forget. I'll be on. Me and Stoney, you and I will talk. I have some swim baits, pandemic swim baits, thumper swim baits, A rigs and stuff that are coming out at pandemic A rigs and stuff. So I'll get a chance to get on. I'll bring some samples over to you.
Sweet.
We'll talk about that.
Yeah.
Hey, maybe when you pick up all your merch, we can have you talk about that too.
There you go. I've got some people wanting them hoodies, so
Yep.
get started.
Get started. Yes, sir. All right, guys. Thank you again. Let us know how the live feed went. I'm assuming that we were live. I'm assuming Eric got all that going.
Yeah, it was
just
good.
paying attention to what we're doing. And if you guys saw us, please like, subscribe, Old Farts Fishing, and Fishing with Stoney Stone. I got a few different Stoney Stone brands out there, but this is like when we get into the commercial phase of things. Is make sure you follow Driving with Stoney Stone. I cross-posted from Driving with Stoney Stone to Old Farts Fishing, and the fishing pages of Darren and I getting pulled over. I put that dash cam footage on there of us getting pulled over by the Sutter County Sheriff. I think it was Sutter County.
Yeah.
And that basically goes to show that, two old guys in a truck at 4:00 in the morning with no license plates on, you can get in that traffic stop and out that traffic stop in less than 5 minutes, if you act the right way.
Yep.
I look back at that footage and realize they didn't even ask us for our ID.
No.
So if you do it right, you're going to be on your way. So watch that video of us getting pulled over. It's kind of comical, especially the reaction of Darren saying, "You don't have plates?" There was a reason, though. You got to watch the reason of why I didn't have plates. But thanks for calling in. We will see you next week. I do not have a guest, so if you want to be on, hit me up. We'll get you on and talk about what you do. Enjoy yourself. See you on the water.
And don't forget to like and subscribe to Standard Issue Fishing Team on Facebook. And,
Absolutely.
Stay safe out there on the water.
Stay safe.
All right, guys. See ya.